Annyeonghaseyo.
I'm Demarshlee.
I'm Ariel.
And we're
Soju for Two.
Okay, so next is going to be another fun fact video, and this is going to be on how sort of our friends and family sort of understand our Korean drama.
And also sort of like how Korean culture has permeated our lives.
Yes.
We actually had 2 people request this, so we thought we'd chat about it.
Yeah.
So I thought we'd start with food.
Yeah.
So Korean food, we got into it obviously when we started watching dramas. I think the first thing we got into was ramen because we started watching Boys Over Flowers and they're always eating ramen. So we bought the pot, we got really into it.
Yeah.
We eat it on the lid, we went all the way. And now we've moved far past that. And we, if you've seen our other restaurant reviews, we eat at a lot of Korean restaurants. Wherever we go, my brother lives in Madison, Wisconsin, and we're constantly like, oh, go to this place in Madison, it's a Korean restaurant. So,
and I think too, like we've included using other ingredients into our regular cooking. So like red pepper flakes, we have
paste,
red pepper paste, and we got that all in Koreatown in New York, but we use it at home and we make like tteokbokki and things like that. And then we make like bibimbap, and because bibimbap for us isn't actually like that far from what we've eaten before.
Yeah.
Well, obviously what's different for us was like the red pepper paste and some of the vegetables. So we kind of incorporated like into our cooking as well. And obviously we love going to New York and eating at all the restaurants and trying stuff out. I think that's the thing. Like initially we've always liked spicy food, but getting into like Korean spice is a little different than like other spices we've used. So we
make our friends go with us to restaurants all the time.
To be adventurous. We're like, oh, we're going to try this place. And then they all end up getting bibimbap.
Yeah, and I would say like Red Mango or Food Gallery in 32nd Street, like I make my friends get that all the time. It's just yogurt, and it's just literally because it's a Korean place, like we always go there, and now they all love it. So we bring food in. With music.
Okay.
So we've obviously gotten into K-pop. We're clearly not huge fans of any one band. We love a lot of bands, but we're not like super fans for anyone. But I would say that we make all of our friends listen to K-pop.
Yeah, and I would say this is where I have the biggest fight with my husband. Because he's not the biggest fan of all the K-pop stuff. I mean, he likes some of it. Okay, actually, his favorite one that we listen to is Face by New West, because they're like fun dance song, and like kind of like we'll dance along to it. I mean, he wouldn't admit to this, but
don't ask him
about it. But I'll tell you that he'll dance to it. But everything else, like if I play like Sorry Sorry, like Super Junior or something, he's like not having it, but it's funny. I mean, he just thinks it's like not really his style. But definitely as you can see right now, we're in a dress store, which is our family dress store, and we've been playing Korean music like all prom season and things like that.
And all the poor kids have to listen to it, but they like it. I think it's fun.
We like to think it's giving cultural education.
Exactly, cultural education. We're teaching them Korean. Okay, so with TV shows, obviously. So clearly we do Korean drama reviews, and which is what we spend most of our time doing. I'd say our friends and family, when we first started telling them we were watching Korean dramas, they're like, what?
They thought it was kind of strange.
Most people hadn't heard of Korean dramas as like a genre before. Now it's becoming really popular. I know the Hallyu Wave started a while ago, but like a lot of people we knew didn't know anything about
it. And I think like our family kind of always knew we were a little weirder. I know it sounds weird, but like we've always watching period pieces.
Yeah.
So like when we were in high school, and all our friends were watching stuff that like that we watched too, but we were more interested in like British period pieces or French period pieces. So we've always been kind of interested in other cultural teen television. Yeah. And obviously getting to Asian was just getting further over.
And I mean, Marsh had, Chinese roommates. I had a Korean roommate. So we had roommates that were constantly like, oh, like you should watch this. And they were always, speaking these other languages. So we wanted to learn it. So it's definitely something that we like. So our friends, I guess what we do now is we recommend them shows to watch. And now we've addicted several of our friends to Korean dramas as well. I think we got one friend who was in law school, so I made her watch Prosecutor Princess. My brother likes actions. I made him watch Bad Guy.
Yeah.
It depends on what people like, but we are constantly giving recommendations.
Yeah, and I think our one younger friend, we're watching Boys Over Flowers and things like that.
Flower
Boy
Ramen Shop,
which I just think are great. I mean, those are ones for me are top. So I think for us, I don't think our friends are that weirded out by it because they know we're just interested in other cultures and they know that we've always been like that. I mean, our mom thinks it's funny when we're listening to everything that's in Korean and they don't know what we're watching at all. But I think our family's pretty receptive to it. I mean,
they've actually picked up the language. I mean, her husband will walk around and say things like "kyopta."
Yeah, he calls me "kyopta." That's what he calls me. So on the phone, he'll be like, "Oh, hi, kyopta," and but it's so weird because he never actually watches the dramas. He just hears me say it. So yeah, but again, he won't admit to that. Don't ask him if he calls me kyopta because he'll say no.
Yeah, so I think the great thing is we're sort of bringing a little bit of Korean language and culture into our family, and also I'm taking Korean classes right now. Maybe some of our viewers right now are in my class with me, but yeah, so we were definitely starting to learn the language, and so that we can watch shows without subtitles.
Yeah, that's our goal.
Go to Koreatown and actually speak to people.
Or maybe go to Korea.
Go to Korea.
Maybe.
Maybe
some updates in our future.
So I think that Korean culture has really seeped into our lives, and our family I think is pretty cool about it.
I think it would be weird if like our family didn't understand it, and I could imagine some people probably maybe have a different reaction from their family. So let us know like if your family thinks you're strange because you watch Korean dramas, if you're American, or if you're from another country, like is it strange to watch something in another country and learn about their culture? I mean, I'm sure for most people it is a little bit confusing at first. I mean, we didn't know much about the culture at all, and learning about it slowly, and obviously we still don't know anything. I mean, it's like any culture. You get to see a glimpse of it in television and not the whole thing, but. We feel like we've learned a little bit more than we knew before, and it's exciting. So, I would say, like, maybe find out what your family says. If no one knows that you watch Korean dramas, if it's like your hidden secret, maybe tell some people, and you get them excited by it.
Yeah, so we love Korean drama, and our family, we just get everyone addicted to it. I think if you're really excited about something, you can make everyone else excited about it. So we do that.
Talk later.
Bye, guys.